5.5 years ago, my wife Greta and I made the decision that completely changed everything about our lives. And if you're thinking of relocating to northern Colorado, what I'm about ready to share with you could change yours too. What's up, beautiful people? My name is Noah, your northern Colorado real estate and lifestyle expert. And today, I'm pulling back the curtain on my personal relocation story, the mistakes that we made, and how exactly we pulled it off. Now, by the end of this video, you'll understand why this move was the best decision that I ever made for my family. Now, in order to tell you where we are now, I've got to tell you a little bit about where we were before. My wife and I lived in Hawaii for 9 years. My daughter Waverly was actually born on Oahu, and it was the most amazing 9 years of my life. And I know you're sitting across the screen saying, why the heck would you move from Hawaii? Well, we're gonna get into that. But here's the thing, is that we were happy. It was amazing. And then my wife and I decided that we were gonna have kids. Now, like I said before, my daughter Waverly was actually born on Oahu. After my baby was born, my little baby Waverly was born, it completely fundamentally shifted me, as all of you parents out there know. Now, things about the city that didn't bother me before started bothering me. Some of the open and notorious drug use, the homeless, the school systems not being where we wanted it to be. So we did the natural thing, which was relocate. But we were unwilling to leave Hawaii yet because we were holding on to the feelings that we had about the islands, the community of people that we had, our friends, the support network, the gym we ran. So we decided to move to Maui for a slower pace of life. And after spending 3 years on Maui and being pregnant with another child, we decided that we wanted our children to have the best education possible, which is really difficult to get in Hawaii because of the transient nature of teachers and staff in the schools. We also wanted our children to have a better relationship with their grandparents, because growing up as a kid, I remember on the weekends, once a month, we'd load up the van and drive to grandma's house, which was a 2.5-hour drive. We'd show up, she'd have mac salad ready to go, cookies, and man, I have such great experiences being a child, being with my grandparents, and all the fun that comes along with it. So we wanted that. That was a priority for us. And thus, you guys know exactly where we ended up, right here in Longmont, Colorado. Now, we were 100% hesitant about this move because we loved Hawaii deeply. I mean, when you wake up in the morning, you're staring at beautiful rainforests and turquoise blue oceans, beautiful weather all year round, access to outdoor adventures on a lunch break. It was really hard to come to grips with the fact that in order to create the life that we wanted for our children, that we absolutely had to leave the islands. Now, of course, in all of this turmoil, there are fears that you need to address when you're relocating, because you are absolutely giving up everything in your known life to move to a completely different area. In your case, it might be a different state, and you have to give up everything. Your relationships, some people, their job, the church, your friends, your support network, everything, your local coffee shops, everything that is in your life goes away, and you trade it for something else. Now, the thought process, well, what if it's not as good as where we're living right now? My guess is if you're watching this video, that you're already starting to understand that where you're at right now isn't serving you, your lifestyle, or your family the best, or you're relocating for work. But the thing about it is that whether you're relocating for work, relocating for a lifestyle change, or just to chase your dreams to Colorado, you have to be willing to give up everything that you know in order to be here. And that's exactly what my wife and I did. Now, here's where our story takes a turn, is that we didn't initially move to Longmont, Colorado. We initially relocated back to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is where both my wife and I are from. And that was a huge mistake. Now, I don't have anything against South Dakota, but when you move from a place that you have access to untapped natural beauty, living in Hawaii, and coming to a place like South Dakota to where your outdoor activities are limited by the seasons, it really was something that we knew was going to happen, but we didn't understand the negative impacts of that on our life. And also, because we were negatively impacted, our children were negatively impacted. Because at the end of the day, you can only go to so many parks, so many coffee shops, so many restaurants, go see so many movies before you start to understand that that's not necessarily what you want for your future and how you want your kids to be raised. We wanted our children to be raised being connected to nature, having dirty feet and dirty hands, and being able to have access to outdoor recreation and adventure all year long. So after relocating to South Dakota from Hawaii, my wife woke up one morning pregnant with our 8.5 months pregnant with our son Ziggy and said, "Noah, I am not having this baby here." That was crazy. 8.5 months pregnant. She says, "Noah, we need to get out of here." And deep down, I 100% knew that it needed to happen, but we had absolutely no sights set on anywhere else in the country. So here's where it gets interesting. My mom has lived in Longmont for 25 years. So it was natural to start recounting where we had gone, where we had visited, and whether or not we liked it enough to rip off the Band-Aid and move across the country again, all within a 12-month time period. And we had came to visit Longmont for my grandmother's 80th birthday 5 years prior. And my wife said, "Well, hey, we kind of liked it there. We had only came here for 3 days 5 years ago." And my wife said, "Hey, what do you think about moving to Longmont?" I was like, "Well, you gave me a half of a month to be able to move, to find a house, relocate my whole entire family in time for you to have this baby." So we ripped the Band-Aid off. We had absolutely no idea what Longmont was like, besides the 3-day adventure that we had taken out here to visit my mom and grandma 5 years prior. And let me tell you, we met fear head on. We met all of the emotions that you might be feeling right now head on, and just made the decision because we knew that it was the best for our family and for what we wanted to create in our future. And no, it was a horrible financial decision because we had just spent $25,000 moving back from Hawaii, purchased a home in South Dakota, got good jobs. I started my real estate career there as well. And then to throw away all that money, I say throw away because I can't imagine living anywhere else. So we rented our house out. We purchased a home online. I called a real estate broker and said, "Hey, listen, I want you to submit this offer for me on this house." Did not even see the home prior to moving. We just knew that we did not want to pay rent because the understanding of what that actually costs is about $80,000, because you have the appreciation value of what Colorado properties are, and you also have the fact that you're going to end up paying about $30,000 in rent. So renting was absolutely not a financial option for us because we wanted to get here, move here, and to be honest with you, we didn't have a lot of money left over from that initial move from Hawaii to South Dakota. So fast forward 1 week, we have the moving truck packed, we have a house purchased, and we are on our way to Colorado. Oh. Let me tell you, I think I experienced every single emotion humanly available during that time. But doing what a good husband does, I listened to my wife and her needs, and I am really glad that we did because I love living here. I'll tell you more about that in a second. Now, I distinctly remember pulling up the moving truck. It was 12 o'clock midnight after driving across the country with 2 cars, a dog, my 3-year-old baby Waverly sitting in the moving truck with us. I remember pulling up the moving truck right outside of this house, and the real estate agent, I said, "Hey, just leave the key under the floor mat." We opened our house, the very first time us actually seeing the inside of the home and realizing that this was our new adventure, this was our new life, and this is where we were going to raise our kids. It was absolutely crazy. Now we moved in, we moved some boxes in, emptied the moving truck, took the U-Haul back to Home Depot, and then it settles in. My very first thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to go get some exercise and I wanted to be outside. So I drove to McIntosh Lake and just took in the absolute beauty of the mountains reflecting off of the lake, the warm sun on my skin. And I remember trying to go for a run. Now, I keep a pretty good level of fitness, so 3 miles for me shouldn't have been much, but I started the run, and lo and behold, about 5 minutes into my run, I am deeply breathing. I cannot even take a deep breath. I'm fighting myself mentally the whole entire time to just keep my feet moving. I made it 1 mile and walked the other 2. I came home, I sat down on the couch, and I was like, oh my gosh, I am so out of shape. What's going on? And my mom looked over at me and smirked, and she's like, you came from 0 sea level to 5,000 feet above sea level. It's the elevation, honey. And then it hit me. I just needed to chill out, drink some water. So if you're concerned about the elevation or how that's going to impact you, you are going to be just fine. One of the things I always tell people is you need to drink lots of water. Don't do what I did. Take it easy for about 5 to 7 days, and you're gonna adjust to the altitude just fine. Now, after a few days here, my failed run, we drove around, we got the house unpacked, we drove around the town after not being here for 5 years and only visiting for 3 days. And my first impressions after moving were that this was a great place. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful because you have the backdrop of the Rocky Mountains from any vantage point here in northern Colorado. We stopped at a coffee shop, we had lunch, we took our kids to a park, and that's when it hit me. Sitting there in the park, I was engaging with other parents. Other parents were coming up, chatting with us, and lo and behold, we actually invited those people over to dinner. Our house still full of boxes that, hey, we just moved here, but hey, we want to have you over for dinner. And let me tell you what, that was a fundamental change right there, because we recognized and realized that the people here in Colorado are what truly makes it special, is because the community and culture here is second to none. And it took me a little bit to actually figure out why. Well, after several years of being here, it hit me that every single person that I met were actually all of my friends except for one friend relocated here from other areas. So they had to give up everything as well. They had to take a risk. They gave up their family, their friends, their schools, their gym, everything to be here and chase their dreams to Colorado. And as a result, every single person that you meet has walked through the same area in life and has experienced the same things that you were experiencing. And it makes building friendships and building a support network so much easier because of the friendliness and the fact that everybody that we met went through something similar, and people are willing to support you right where you're at. Fast forward 5.5 years, and those same friends we met at the park that day are still some of our best friends. Our kids hang out, go to parks, and occasionally the parents get together at a brewery and let the kids run around. And it has been an amazing transition from Hawaii to South Dakota to Longmont, and now this place absolutely feels like home. Now, if you're in that same decision point that I was, wondering if Colorado could be the right fit for your family, simply text or call me at 720-741-7474. I'll help you figure out if this move makes sense for you. I also created a 41-page Longmont relocation guide packed with all the information that I wish that I would have had, like the best neighborhoods, schools, entertainment, local favorites, and local spots. It is packed with absolutely everything, and it's free. You can find it in the link in the description down below. And if you're thinking of relocating, it is an absolute must because it's going to save you a bunch of time. Now, the lifestyle change from South Dakota to Colorado was absolutely night and day different. In South Dakota, the entertainment is based off of restaurants, parks, movies, television, video games, because the summers are 125 degrees with 15% humidity, mosquitoes and flies buzzing around you, biting you all of the time. You don't even want to be outside when it's like that. And you take the other side of the coin, which is the winters are -25 below zero. Are you kidding me? So you're inside and you only have a limited amount of days where you actually can be outdoors and comfortable. You take that in contrast of what Colorado has to offer, and it could not be more different. Yes, we still have 4 seasons, but in the summertime, it is absolutely beautiful, 0% humidity. In the wintertime, because of the low humidity, the snowfall and temperature stays fairly good. Last winter, I only had to put on my winter coat 4 times the entire winter, and I only shoveled snow 4 times as well, just to give you a real world look at what the winter season looks like here. But on top of that, Colorado does something that no other place place that I've lived has. Yes, you will get snow, but there's 300 days of sunshine here, which means that even in the dead of winter, you might have snowfall that night, sun comes up in the morning, it's bright, it's beautiful, melts all the snow off by 1 or 2 p.m., and you can still get sunburnt in the middle of winter. Now, I had not ever experienced that in my life before. So when we're talking about the activities that you and your family value, what you value is you will be able to be outdoors all year round, in all 4 seasons, hiking, biking, going to parks, enjoying the beautiful Rocky Mountains. And there are only a couple days during the winter that you might just want to stay inside. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is just my personal experience, and I want to share some of the personal things because you are going to go through the same transition. And I can tell you that from this move and from doing this, my family has grown closer together because we do more activities together. We enjoy more together, and it deepens the relationship that I have with my wife and my kids. And that is something that no amount of fear, no amount of financial stress, I would ever give that up for anything. Now, the city itself is freaking fantastic. I mean, you're talking the fact that you have a city of 120,000 people, which is relatively small. It feels like a small mountain town, but it has everything that you need. Great schools, parks, entertainment, restaurants, breweries. I mean, you name it. We've got Whole Foods, Target, Costco, Sam's Club. We've got everything that you need and absolutely nothing you don't, which makes living here and staring at those beautiful mountains, knowing that, hey, this is home. I don't have to go anywhere else to do anything. But if you want to, Boulder is only 12 minutes away. Denver, to get to the Denver International Airport, is only 55 minutes from my doorstep. Also, the Denver Zoo. So if you want to get out and you want to have a little bit more city experiences with you and your family, you have access to all of that, and you can do it in a day. So for us, we like going to concerts. We like going to the museum, the zoo. We love getting out and about with our kids. And this location absolutely serves us 100% because of the small community, but the fact that we have access to the large city amenities just makes living here with kids so much easier. And here's the thing that surprised me the most about this move. It wasn't just about changing where we lived, it completely changed who I have become. Because yes, you will have 100% different hobbies than you have right now. Take me, for example. I didn't own a bike for 20 years, and now, because of where we live, I've got a garage full of bikes, and biking is one of the things that I really enjoy doing with my kids now. The relationships that you build with people have also changed who I have become, and I am so proud of that person and so proud of my family for being able to pull this off, all with a smile on her face. Now, one of the things that I never expected when we moved, and I know that I mentioned this before, but it's important, is that I didn't expect to be able to move here and within 2 weeks host a barbecue and have a house full of people. Now, these just aren't any people. These are people with the same views, the same life stories, and it has just been absolutely amazing. Now, of course, when my wife woke me up and said, hey, I don't want to have this baby here after we spent all that money, I was definitely fearful. I was fearful of making this change. I was fearful of, renting out our house. Are we going to get it rented? Are we going to have to sell it? Are we going to find a new house? Is the new house going to be in the right neighborhood? What do the schools look like? What are we going to do? How are we going to make friends? And I can tell you that all of these challenges were easier to handle than I expected. Now, is Longmont perfect? No, but there is no city or town in the entire United States, or the world for that matter, that is. A couple of the things that irritate me are the fact that our roads are absolutely garbage. Now, this happens because of the expansive soils that will absolutely destroy anything made of concrete. This includes roads, sidewalks, buildings, parking garages. Anything that you see is going to be negatively impacted by the expansive soils. And guess what? There's not a darn thing any of us can do about it. One of the other things that's a little bit annoying is that you are going to have people out panhandling by Home Depot and some of the other busier intersections in town. Now, some of the people blow up the comments on here and are like, oh my gosh, it has open and notorious drug use, there's gangs, there's violence, there's all of this stuff. Come on, man. I've lived here for almost 6 years. I have never experienced a crime. I have never seen open and notorious drug use. And the people that are out panhandling, they're just out panhandling trying to make a living. They're not trying to get in your business. They're not, walking up to your car. They're just sit there and ask for some change. So at the end of the day, those are my two biggest biggest gripes about Longmont are the streets and the people out panhandling. This has been an absolutely safe and wonderful community, and I'm so glad that we decided to rip that Band-Aid off and go for it. Now, if you're ready to write your own transformation story or relocate, don't wait. You can text or call me right now at 720-741-7474, or if it's easier, you can grab a spot on my calendar using the link in the description below, and I'm going to go ahead and shoot you a call at that time. Now, on that call, this is a time for you to ask me all of your questions. I don't have a sales pitch. It's all about you and figuring out whether Longmont or the surrounding areas fit your family's needs. Because 5 years ago, I took the leap of faith and it gave me the life I never knew that I wanted. And if you want to see more of the town, you can go check out this video right here where I give you a full driving tour of Longmont, Colorado. Remember, stay adventurous, my friends. I'll see you in the next video.